Welcome to the channel. This is Patty's Aquatics, and I'm Patty. So, just recently, I was at a local swap meet, the Fox Valley Fish Fair, and I was a vendor at this venue. Now, one of my favorite things about being a vendor at one of these swap meets is, well, I get first look at some of the fish and things that are for sale at these things before other people get in the door. So that's well worth being a vendor itself. But that being said, I want to show you what I got at that swap meet that day. One thing in particular, my daughter's super excited for. Then I got a few other things. But what I also would like to do is really give you an update on some of the new fish that I got previous to that, which I made a video for, and I'll link that above. I want to show you some of the progress that's going on with them and maybe some of the downfalls that are happening with it too, a few of them. So that being said, let me turn the camera around and I really want to show you the one thing my daughter's super excited for. Well, don't mind the background, but this is the tank that I got something from my daughter. And if you can see a little closely, there it is. She finally got the axolotl she's been waiting for. It's a very cool one. It's an adult. I got it from Pat's Aqua Ranch. He had postings on Facebook about trying to get rid of a couple adults. I reached out to him. He had sold those already, but then offered up this one. Very cool. Like I said, my daughter's super excited. Now, that being said, with this tank, it looks much different than it did. Trust me. There are so many plants in here that you barely could see through it, but I sold a lot of those at that swap meet. And knowing I was going to get an adult in here, I wanted to open up some swimming rooms. So what I really did is just put few more plants in there, and I put this big log in here, obviously, so it has somewhere to hide. I really want to see how these plants are going to do long term with this lower light and colder water. Everything I read is the Dorsage, Ludwigia, Nibius, and stuff like that should do okay. So time will tell. I want to see how they turn out. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a few more plants in here. The Nibius I've got floating right now, I will be attaching that to the log eventually. I've been feeding him some cut up earthworms right now, night crawlers, excuse me. And I do have some food ordered from Ken's Fish that Pat said that he was feeding him as well. That's coming, I believe, tomorrow. So I also read I can give him a little bit of the raw shrimp that I use for feeding my Fahaka Puffer and Oscar. I can give them to him once in a while as well. Wants high protein foods, something soft and small. It's very cool when he comes out, and he's hiding now, but when he's like going out about the tank, it's very cool looking. I'll probably put some footage of that in here. And the first time I fed it a night crawler, kind of freaked me out a little bit. I put it in front of his face on the tweezers, and he snapped at it so fast that it took me aback. It made me jump and scream like a girl. But anyway, this is the axolotl, and my daughter named it Ty, T-Y, Ty. I don't know, she comes up with some of the different names once in a while, but this is Ty. This is a new member of Patty's Aquatics Fish Room, and my daughter's axolotl. So besides that, I did get a few more things at the swap meet. Let me show you. All right, so and these two tanks contain some more inhabitants that I had gotten, but I want to explain a little bit about them because there has been some changes. Now, initially, these platinum rice fish that are in this tank now, they were over here. Well, I switched them around. Now, what I got at the swap meet, they're hiding, and they're notorious for that. I've got some celestial pearl Daniels, some CPDs. Right now they're hiding back there. They will come out after I stop moving around a little bit. You see, I had them in this other tank over here, but all they did was hide down at the bottom underneath the swords and the crypts. They barely ever came out, and I just didn't feel like this tank was suited for them. I really felt that all these rice fish would work better in this taller tank, since these rice fish really like to swim up near the surface and in the mid-water, that this tank would benefit them a little more. So I had the displeasure of trying to get all of these dang things out of this tank over there and put them in here because they are so fast, these CPDs. But I got them. I actually had the net just sitting at the bottom, and like 4 of them swam into it. I was like, holy crap, that was easy, but the rest were not, trust me. So I switched those around. So these CPDs are in here now, and they actually are a little bit more swimming around and showing themselves more, not as scared of me. So I'm happy about that. So we'll be trying to breed these guys in the future. I got these from a vendor called Nano Realms. She breeds a lot of nano fish and does a lot of plants, and I was very happy because I knew she was going to be there, and I was hoping she was going to have these guys along. I had it narrowed down to either wanting these or some type of like smaller rainbows, like a forktail or something along those lines. But once I saw the CPDs, I knew that's what I wanted. So that's that. Now, there's also something else in here. I just seen it swimming and I don't know where it went. I got some shrimp in here too. There's one. It's a pumpkin shrimp. It's like a variant of an orange. Now, I had a little issue with these guys. What happened is I got 10 of them. Well, as of yesterday, I only have 2 left. I will blame myself more for that, I think, because I don't know if I properly acclimated them. I just temperature acclimated. Typically, that's all I do with fish and shrimp is I just plop and drop and temperature acclimate. Where I know sometimes shrimp need to be more drip acclimated, and I didn't do that. So I don't know if that was the reason why that they all started to die within days. But that being said, I only had 2 left as of yesterday. And I'm really hoping that I'm hoping it's a boy and a girl, so then maybe I can still populate this tank with them. Otherwise, I'll be starting over and getting something else. But either way, these rice fish, I think, very much complement this tank and are perfect, and that's what was supposed to happen. So that's what I got at the Fox Valley Fish Fair was my axolotl for the daughter, the CPDs, and then that pumpkin shrimp that I said I only have 2 of as of right now. But now I want to update you a little bit on some of the fish that I got in that previous video and talk a little bit about that first and show you some of the successes and some of the not so successes. So to start off, let's look down here, and these are those rainbow shiner fry. Now they're doing great, but they're in a different tank, and I will explain that in just a little bit and explain why they're down here. But this is the tank I really want to talk about. This has those golden white clouds, and there's only about 6 of them left as of yesterday of the 12. They started dying on me, and I really don't know why. I quarantined them for about 2 weeks. They were completely fine. I put them in here, and it was strange. I seen them like all like sitting at the surface of the water. I mean, I have air in here, so it's not lacking oxygen. And I really don't know what happened. They just started like one by one. I'd been seeing them at the bottom and being gone. So I'm down to 6, but these guys, nothing has died in the last probably like 4 or 5 days. So I'm hoping that the dying stops. So that's been kind of a disappointment. So I do have some ideas in my head of maybe moving these guys out of this tank and creating this tank for something else, but I'm not sure yet. I think I'm just going to let these guys sit for a while and just stop being impatient and just see what happens for a bit, but I can always move them, I think, into the main white cloud tank as well. Yes, there could be some interbreeding between the two, but I haven't found any fry in this main tank yet at all, so we'll see on that. The other thing I want to show you is the rainbow shiners. They are doing great. Everyone is getting along. I absolutely love watching these guys feed and swim around. They're super energetic. It's just fun to watch. Truth be told, someday I want to get these guys in like a 55 or a 75 gallon tank and make it like a river tank where these guys can swim around freely through rocks and flow, and just, I don't know, I think that'll be an exciting tank, and maybe get some hill stream loaches or something like that in there and really I don't know. That's an ideal tank that I want to do down the road sometime with these guys, which is another reason why I'm trying to stock up on these guys now, because that will be a reality someday down the road. So the next thing I want to show you is the rams. Now, this is where things got a little weird. I came home from work one day and was going to feed these guys, and the water was down to about here. Heater exposed. I'm like, what the heck? I seen water all dripping down into my Oscar tank. I had a leak, a failure in that tank that was up here. So one, luckily it was only 10 gallons. Two, luckily my Oscar tank has egg crate as a lid, so all that water was able to drip into this tank and not create too much of a mess. So I pulled that tank out, and I will reseal it and use it down the road. But I bought a new tank at PetSmart. PetSmart had a 50% off sale for President's Day. And so I got that, and I got a new heater, and I set this up, but I had to put all these guys, while that tank was leaking, into this tank where those rainbow shiner fry were. So that is why they're in that other tank. And when I put them in here, they were about ready to breed. So I waited a day or two until they were done. Then I moved the fish all back into this tank with some of their ornaments, and they laid all their eggs on this rock. Now, a lot of them have turned fungus, so we'll see what happens. But if you zoom in, you can see there are some good ones in there yet with some white little, or black dots. I don't know if this fungus is going to overtake them. I'm not really sure what to do with that right now. I'm going to have to do some research after I get off of this video. I did shoot a little bit of methane blue in there yesterday on top of these eggs. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on here. I don't really have much hope that these things will survive, but I wanted to give it a little bit of a try outside of the parents' tank since they did eat them the last 2 times. But obviously, moving forward, this will be let's see what happens if they can do this together and keep them alive in this tank. But other than that, these guys are doing great. Still absolutely love them. I put my old Fluval light on here, so the colors on these guys are just freaking phenomenal now under this LED light. So, yeah, they're acting a little weird in that corner right now. Anyway, so that's all the fish, and that's the updates, and that's what I got. Well, that's everything that I got from the Fox Valley Fish Fair. And then also an update on all those fish that I had gotten a couple of weeks ago in that video. Like I said, things have been doing pretty good for the most part, minus some of those white clouds dying and obviously that tank leaking. But in the end, it got me a new tank and a new heater and possibilities of more new fish. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you don't want to miss what I might be getting next. And as always, remember to think outside the box and take a step back in the nature. I hope to see you next time here at Patty's Aquatics.